In June 1991, President George H.W. Bush held a parade down Constitution Avenue to celebrate the U.S. victory in the Persian Gulf War. Here's CBS News icon Bob Schieffer with coverage of that event 27 years ago.
Good evening. Well, already they are saying tonight it was the biggest military celebration in the nation's capital since World War II, as Washington today honored the U.S. servicemen and women who fought in the Gulf War, both those who returned and those who died. 200,000 enthusiastic spectators watched a parade of troops and their weapons, all part of the national victory celebration. Eric Engberg has our report.
It was a day for saying thank you to heroes. Fittingly, it began with those who did not come back. At Arlington National Cemetery, President Bush placed a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns. And fighter planes passed over in the missing wingman formation to honor the men and women who died in the Gulf War. The president choked back tears several times as he spoke directly to loved ones of those who died.
We celebrate the fact that each person we commemorate today gave up life for principles larger than each of us. Principles that at the same time form the muscle and strength of our national heart.
Eileen Rollins said her son Jeffrey, killed in the desert, would have liked the ceremony.
Jeff was total military. He loved the service and he loved his country.
Faye Hawes's son Jimmy died when a missile hit his tank.
He loved what he was doing and he died for what he believed in.
On the wide boulevards just a few blocks from the White House, 8,000 Desert Storm troops were moving out. And once again, it was General Norman Schwarzkopf who set the cadence, leading the way as far as the presidential box, where he spent the rest of the parade as cheerleader and spotter for a clearly delighted George Bush. So much military hardware was moving that at times it appeared Washington was under attack. The stealth bomber, oddly shaped to deceive radar, led a fleet of 82 planes over the parade route. The Patriot missile got the loudest applause of the day. Several 100,000 spectators lined the streets, most with the same message.
We're here just to say thank you and to celebrate our victory, but to say thank you to all the men and women who serve in the armed forces.
I think that this is a wonderful occasion, but we don't want it to happen again because we don't want war.
Peace activists had protested against today's celebration, but they drew only a few protesters to their rally. A Harrier jet fighter on display near the parade was splashed with blood, and the protesters were arrested and taken away.
But the overall mood, Bob, was overwhelmingly celebratory and upbeat. And now on Washington's Mall, several 100,000 people have gathered for a USO show tonight, which will be capped off by what they say will be the biggest fireworks display in Washington history.
Eric, this, of course, was called a celebration to honor those who fought this war, but in many ways it was also in honor of the people back home, wasn't it?
I think that's right, Bob. I think that we sent one of the most professional armies in American history to fight the war against Saddam Hussein. They didn't expect any parades on the way back. They just felt that they had done what they were told to do and had accomplished their job. But I think the civilian sector of the country, the Americans who remember Vietnam and the divisions of that era, all wanted to make sure that the mistakes that happened at the end of that war weren't repeated and that these troops were given a hearty thank you, and that was all accomplished today.
Thank you, Eric.